Hi there, stampers and crafters. My name is Tammy White from stampwithtami.com. I'm super excited for today's class. I am live streaming today on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You might be joining me live or you might be watching the replay. I'm going to be sharing how to make these cards right here. These are the first 3 in a series of 8. 8 amazing projects that I created using Stampin' Up's Gumball Greetings bundle. And the first 2 I'm going to share are actual Gumball machines, but the rest are alternate projects that are completely different. So the video is for the first 3. I will be running the rest of the series on my blog on stampwithtami.com throughout the next week. So you'll be able to get instructions for all 8 projects. But the basics of all of them I'll be sharing on today's video. So I'd like to welcome everybody aboard who's jumping on right now. It's great to see you guys. I'm really excited to be live and to be sharing with you guys today. A couple of notes for you. One, I have the first 3 PDF instructions up for the 3 projects that I'm going to be doing right now on my blog already. You can click on the link in this video's description and it will bring you right to this project page. And as the new projects roll out over the week, they'll also be linked on this page. So they'll be easy for you to get to and get the instructions for. And you'll want them for both the supply list and for the measurements. In addition to that, I have a giveaway, and it's for a special moment celebration stamp set. This is only available until February 28th, by the way. And the words are so fun. I'm actually using them on one of the cards. I'll share that with you when we get started. All you need to do to enter is drop a comment here, and a lot of you have already entered. It's great to see you guys. That's awesome. I love it. So all you need to do is drop a comment, say hi, and if you share this video onto social media like YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, and type the word shared into the original video, you will be entered a second time, because when you share the love, I love you right back. Thank you so much for being a part of my crafting community and for stamping with me today. And I hope that you get lots out of this class, and I hope that you are very inspired to go play with gumball machines. So that is what we are doing today. This is the bundle that I'll be using on all of the cards. The 3 I'm making today plus the other cards in the series. It's Gumball Greetings from Stampin' Up. It's a really fun stamp set, and I know when you look at it you think Gumball Machine, but I am about to twist your mind and get you thinking about outside the box ideas. There's a fun die set that also matches the stamp set, and these fun shaker domes, which we're going to be using today in multiple ways today. The other thing that I'm using on almost all of the cards in this series is part of Celebration. It's the Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper, which is only available till February 28th, if it doesn't sell out before then, which it very well may. It's super fun, and again, thinking outside the box, for most of these cards you're going to see this paper used for things other than rainbows. So just really quickly, this is the card that the Designer Series paper, and there are rainbows on it, yes, but there's lots of great patterns in here that I'll be using on a lot of these cards. They're versatile, they're bright, they're cheery, they're fun, and you can get these free with a $50 order. You can get this Designer Series paper in my online store at stampwithtami.com. If you want to learn more about Celebration, you can do that on my blog. Click on the link in the video's description or go to stampwithtami.com. It ends on February 28th. And with that, let's get started. I'm going to start with, well, I'll share the 3 cards that I'm making today. And the first one is just a traditional shaker card, but it's not really just a traditional shaker card, right? How cool is that? I'm going to share the domes, how to use the dies traditionally as maybe they were intended to be used as a gumball machine. And these are frosted beads inside that also kind of coordinate. They look yummy, right? They look like gumballs, super fun. And I'm going to share how I made the nickel that goes in the gumball machine. So that's the first card. Now get this, second card, and this is a magic card. Woo, right? This one, super easy. You're going to be really surprised how easy this is to make. But love a little peekaboo there, like, empty gumball, full gumball, empty gumball, full gumball. So those are these are the first 2 that are gumball machines. All the other cards that I'm going to share, and I'll share the rest of the series at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that, for what's coming for the rest of the week. all of them are outside the box ideas, anything other than gumball machines. You're going to love what some of the ideas are just like, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I would have never seen that. I'm also going to share this die right here, how to cut this die down. And I didn't just cut it with scissors. You can see the little stitching on the edge there to make it a little bit shorter than it actually is. So I'm going to share a couple little tips here. I'm going to share how to use adhesive sheets. And the last card that we're going to make here is a liquid shaker. Oh, how fun is this, right? Super fun. This is using the Seize the Day bundle, the shaker dome in here, and I am going to share how to make the big gumball machine into a little pedestal to hold our fish bowl. Right? So fun. Let's get started. So starting with card number 1, I'm just going to move this out of the way, and we're going to start with our traditional shakers. So super fun. So it's not actually a gel card. Stay tuned. We'll make that one. I'll share all the secrets behind the liquid card in a minute. So fun. I'm serious. I've had so much fun with this bundle. So much fun. So the first thing we're going to do here is our stamping, which I have pre-done the embossing on this one, so you can check out how to emboss on some of my other videos if you haven't embossed yet. So fun. You definitely want to see some of my other videos if you're new here. If you are not new here, then you see I do a lot of embossing on my videos. So that I'm pretty sure you can figure that part out, just in the interest of time, so that I can get the 3 projects done that have the basics for all the rest of the projects that are in this series. Just in the interest of time, I'm gonna have that pre-done, but I am going to stamp the dome. So again, the measurements for all of this are on that free PDF on my blog. I'm stamping it in basic gray on a little bit of scrap here. Oh, first timers, I love it. I'm so glad you found me. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the fun, and hit that like button so YouTube knows that you like and likes the fun. All right, so super easy shaker part with these domes. I mean, super easy. So we've got our dome. All right, so the dome has like a longer part, and then the top is shorter. So that helps you out with top and bottom. Also, it's adhesive on the top and the bottom, and I found that the take your pick tool helps here if you just pop. So now this is sticky, okay? So I'm just going to put that to the side for a second. We're going to take our frosted beads. And now the trick here is you can put as many as you desire, just get them in the middle, right? Get them in that stamped part of the image. And then you can just kind of stack as many as or as few as you want in there. And then once you have them all kind of in there like you want them, boop, I'm going to take the dome and place it, line it up right over the top. Boom. So we've got our gumballs and our little shaker, and they are ready to be put in our card. Okay, so I'm just going to move those out of the way, and then we're going to do our die cutting. So I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way. I'm going to share first. We're going to cut the dome out of the out of this paper, out of this layer here, and this layer was the Sweetly Stitched dies, which I did use these dies on a lot of this series and a lot of this card series as well. This is the largest of the stitched domes. Now, stitched domes, stitched so sweetly. If you don't have this die set, don't fret. I've also given you on that free PDF measurements on how to just cut a regular panel for the card if you don't have this, because you can just do a regular panel. It's not scalloped. I mean, it's really cool with this one, but you don't need it. You can do a regular panel. So if you download that, I'll give you the measurements on what to do there. So we're gonna bring in We've got the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I've got my panel pre-cut here, and then I'm gonna bring in the dies. So I'm gonna cut this in the center, but just sort of to the top. And I'm gonna use just a little sticky note to keep it in place. And we'll just run that through. I have to laugh at this. Ginny says she loves the die, and the spell check changed the die to diet, and you're killing me. She's like, I love that diet. That's awesome. I love spell check. Not sometimes. Sometimes I hate it, but you know what I'm saying? When it auto corrects on you and you don't want it to. But that was a funny one. So we've got this. The die is so fun. I mean, I know a lot of you got this right away when it came out in the mini catalog. And for those of you who looked at it and said, oh, you know, it's cute. I like the Gumball Machine, but it's limited to Gumball Machines. I'm here to rock your world, because there's so much more than Gumball Machines that it can do, right? But our first two cards will be Gumball Machines. We will go like inside the box for the first couple of cards just to share how to do it. Oh, what the heck did I do there? Did I scratch it? I did. We're going to flip that right over. Card has two sides. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the die cutting on this card. And for some of it, like for this thin die, this is actually an outline die. It's hard to see, but you'll see it in a minute. I'm going to use an adhesive sheet on the backing of our cardstock. I'm going to share how to do that really quickly, because when you use an adhesive sheet, it turns your cardstock into a sticker. And it makes thin dies really easy to attach, so you don't have to worry about getting your seal or your liquid glue all over the place on the thin dies. So now I've got an adhesive backing on my cardstock. And then I can put that, I know that's not big enough, but you get the idea. Then I run it through the die cut machine. And when we're done, through the magic of, actually, you know what, I'll leave this out just so you can see it really quickly. Through the magic of video, I have this piece right here all cut out, and I'm just gonna peel the backing and it's gonna stick. Okay, so I've pre-embossed the words here. I cut that with the smallest Stitch So Sweetly die that I used, so it will match the outer edge. And then I've just cut, we've got petal pink, I've cut the top of the Gumball Machine, and then I've got the faceplate out of some silver here, and I heat embossed this nickel, and I did one here just to share with you. So this is one of the images in the stamp set. It's a nickel, it's a 5-cent nickel right here. I heat embossed it in silver on silver foil, and then cut it out with this little die, and that gives us our little nickel. So we've got our pieces ready to assemble, right? You're looking at this going, wow, I didn't realize that was so easy. But it really is. It's really fun. It's a fun card to gift to people. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off. Find where I just put my take your pick tool. So now I'm going to peel off the top of this dome. So the dome's got a sticky top and underside to make it really easy to attach. She's loving the amazing magic of video. Lots of magic happening on today's video. Okay, so now we've got our shaker panel going on there. We're all ready to put our pieces on. So I'm gonna take this piece again. Remember, I've cut it on an adhesive sheet, so all I need to do is peel the backing off. Super easy, nice and clean. It's not messy. And I'll just line that up on this larger solid cut. Now there is a stamp, which I will use on the next one, that you can stamp on here as well. This one I didn't do it, but on the next one I did. Okay, so we've got our little spinner here. So, you know, when I don't know, maybe a dial, what are you gonna call that? When you put the nickel in and turn the dial? Dial? I guess that makes sense, right? We'll call it a dial. And I'll go ahead and take the rest of these pieces off. Now I have the nickel. I cut the nickel out of, I do have an adhesive sheet on the back of that. When I did my original, when I put that nickel in that little slot right there, how cute is that? I put a dimensional behind it so it stuck out, but totally up to you. This time I'm just gonna leave it flat. And this I'm gonna put Stampin' dimensionals on so it pops up, the faceplate pops up on the Gumball Machine. Suzanne, you've never heat embossed on foil. It is exactly the same as heat embossing on anything else. You're just using foil instead of cardstock. You use Stampin' Versamark, pour the powder, heat it, and boom. And it looks like, doesn't it look like a nickel? It looks like metal. It's cool. I have done that on quite a few videos in the past, but it's the same as embossing anything else. And I do have the supplies for that. listed on that free PDF. So I'm just going to move these pieces that we've die cut here. Okay. Now this is just a hand cut scrap, and I cut that to go. So we've got this little slot where the gumball comes out, and I wanted it to be a different color. I wanted it to look like it was part of the machine. So I pre-cut that. Find my little silicone mat. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back there and just attach that to the back so it gives it like a little bit of a different color in there. So when that little slot opens up, you can see it's a different color. And then it's just a matter of assembling our card. We'll go ahead and use actually, you know what? I cut this cap with adhesive sheet on the back too, so that's just going to pop right on the top. This is going to go down with, you can use dimensionals on this if you wanted to. I'm going to lay it flat with seal adhesive. And then we've got our card panels. Now I'm working with vellum cardstock. So I've got that Sunshine and Rainbows designer paper. If you didn't have that, you could use other patterns, but this is super fun. It's celebration paper. So whenever you're working with vellum, I'm going to make sure that I hide the adhesive. So what I'm going to do is actually attach this to the vellum first. Yeah, we're going to do that. Actually, no, I'm just going to get an idea of where, I want the vellum so that it doesn't show through. We're just going to do it in the middle there because I know that's going to be covered with this. So you're not going to see it because I want to put a little ribbon around this. So there. But you can see, yeah, it's not bad actually. It's a busy pattern, so it doesn't show quite as much, but you can see how there's a little bit of show through on that. Now, I got the petal pink ribbon to match our colors, and this is actually from the combo, cotton ribbon combo pack. It comes in petal pink, and it also has Misty Moonlight in it. So there's two different colors there. And I'll just take a little piece of that. I'm just going to attach it across the front. So I'll just take some of the seal adhesive to attach it. And I'm going to, not quite the center, maybe just a hair down from the center. And then this can go right on our card base. You can do that flat or you can pop it up. And that goes right down there. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Very, very nice. You made my day. I'm glad you appreciate the PDFs too. I think they're helpful as well when you're making something. It's nice to be able to go back on them. These two panels I'm putting on with the Stampin' Dimensionals to pop them both up. So that's the words and the base. And for those of you just popping in, we are having some fun today with gumball machines and turning them into things that aren't gumball machines. In a minute, this first card is a gumball machine. I cannot wait to show you the rest of the cards for this that I've done. And I will give you a peek at the end of this video. And I have some more in my head. So, I mean, I have a series of 8, but I'm not gonna tell you I'm done because more may be coming. I just have so many things to play with. Okay, so we're gonna pop that on, and then the words are gonna go right down here. Sweetest day ever. Actually, that's a little bit low. I think I'm gonna change them up, maybe put them up top. And then I took a few, these are iridescent rhinestones, and I just added some of those down here for a little bit of interest. I'm gonna shake it up from the original maybe. There we go. And card number 1 of our 3 for today's video is complete. We've got our shaker card, and here's the original here, just to kind of give you an idea. Very, very cute, right? I did get a lot more in there, but just in the interest of time, you get the idea of how to put them together. Okay, so that's card number 1. Card number 2 is the other gumball machine. Remember, series of 8, but only these 2 are actual gumball machines. The rest of this series is all going to be alternates to a gumball machine. So card number 2 is the Peekaboo Magic card. Oh my god, so fun. Different than the other magic cards that I've done. I did something a little bit different here, and I'm also going to share a trick on cutting this die. So the first thing that we're going to do here is stamp the pieces. And just in the interest of time, I'm using Melon Mambo here for the Gumball Machine pieces, and I've pre-cut those. I've pre-stamped those. I stamped this is going to be our guide, and I'll share what I mean by that as we get started. And then I've got a window sheet here that I've also stamped. Now I'm going to note on the window sheet, I used StazOn ink, and actually you can use StazOn ink on the whole card, as opposed to normally I'm using Memento ink. A lot of times I color with blends, and you need the Memento black ink, and I know there's 2 black inks, and a lot of times people are like, oh wow, why do you have 2, and what's the difference? The difference is they are completely made up of completely different ingredients. This one's good for alcohol markers and coloring and just your basic anything. This is a permanent ink, and you can't use alcohol markers with it because it bleeds, just because it's made with alcohol, and apparently they don't mix. Also, you can stamp on plastic with this and other surfaces that you can't normally stamp a water-based ink pad on. So that's why the 2. And I am using, this is a window sheet. It is plastic, so that's why I'm using the StazOn. So I stamped the dome on that. And then I went ahead and stamped it one more time on a Post-it note. So the Post-it note's going to be a mask. So I'm just going to take some scissors, and I'm actually going to cut out the inside of this. And if you wanted to, you could use the die, but I kind of wanted to custom cut mine so that it fit just much tighter than the die actually did. So this is a little bit of masking. So we got a lot of techniques going on today. So I'm just going to put these off to the side so we can do a little bit of stamping our gumballs. And we have a Stampin' scrub. Peggy's asking what the best way to clean StazOn off your ink. We have a Stampin' scrub and a mist. I use that when I use StazOn most of the time, unless I'm really in a hurry. Because StazOn is a permanent ink, you want to clean it off right away. So I've got Melon Mambo, which is the cardstock we're using here, Bermuda Bay, Granny Apple Green. Originally I used Daffodil Delight. For some reason I misplaced the pad after I did it, so we're for demonstration purposes, we've got Melon Mambo, which is all going to go fine. And then I'm taking the gumball stamp from that stamp set. So we'll be taking this stamp right here, and we're going to stamp some gumballs. And just kind of going to go right over. And the reason why I have the mask there is because you'll see once we start layering, you can see a little bit of the edging, and I didn't want the gumballs to look like they were kind of flowing all over the place. I wanted them to look like they were still inside the machine. So once I switch, same stamp, once I switch to another color, I'm just taking my chamois here and switching to, we've got Granny Apple Green. We'll put a little bit down below. And then we'll go into Bermuda. So we've got a pretty full gumball machine going on. And last but not least, a little bit of Melon Mambo to tie it all together, because that's the color of cardstock we're using. You can make it as full or as, you know, as you want it. Okay. So I'm just going to move those out of the way, and then we'll do some unmasking. We'll take that mask right off. Take that off. And now we have our gumballs that are contained inside the gumball machine. So even if you weren't doing this particular technique, it is a good way to keep the gumballs in the gumball machine. Okay. So next we're going to do our die cuts. And through the magic of this video, let's just move that aside. We've got our die cut pieces here. Again, just like I did on the last ones, this was cut. These pieces here were cut on an adhesive sheet. So if you're tuning in late, you can go back and see card number 1 to see the adhesive sheet. I stamped before I cut this time. So I stamped the Gumball Machine and then cut it out just so you could see the difference between the two, one without the stamp, one with the stamp. And then this is going to be a little pull tab that I made with that designer series paper. So I'm going to share how to cut this down. I made this tag with, just show you the Tasteful Label die set right here. And I use this die, but when I go to put it on the card, it's a little too long and it kind of gets in the way. So I want to cut it down, and you could just use your paper trimmer and cut it, but it's got cool little stitching around the edges. And so when I cut it, I wanted the stitching to continue. So I'm going to share how I did that, and it's a quick little trick. So first I embossed with white, and then I cut this out. And then we're going to take our cut machine and same die, okay? And I'm moving it down to where the size that I want it. See, I'm moving this edge right here is going to be the cut to the size that I want it. Line it right up there. And now the trick to this is that you only want the top pad. The top pad is actually where the magic happens, to cover this. And you don't want it to cover the whole thing because it may make new lines and it won't look right. So just cover that one edge that we're going to recut. And then when it comes through, take that off to show you. Okay, so we've got this, we can remove, throw it away, that's a little scrap piece. And now we have a much smaller die cut. So that's just a little trick there on resizing your die cut. I'm gonna do another trick like that on the next card too. Okay, so now it's time for some assembly. One more cut that I wanted to do here. I attached designer series paper to Granny Apple Green, and then I cut the dome out of the front. So we've got our dome right here. Cut it out just like we did on the last card, same way. So I cut it out of there, and then we're ready. So let's go ahead and put these pieces together and get them all ready to go, and then we'll go to the magic. We're making a magic card right now for those of you who have popped in late. This is super fun, and this is a twist on the regular magic cards that I've done. I know I've done magic cards several different ways, and this is different than all of them. A slightly different way to make them. Had some fun with it. I'm going to put that on with dimensionals again, just like I did with the last. So we've got a lever again. These are all cut with adhesive sheets. So they're already sticky. I just had to peel the backing off. And I'm going to put that coin in the coin slot. Boom. And then put some dimensionals on that. Oh, you guys are making my day. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys. You know, without you, I am just here stamping and talking to myself. But that's no fun. It's always fun to stamp with friends, and I'm glad that you guys get inspired and learn and do new things. And I want to see what you guys make. I know you see my stuff, and I hope that you get inspired. But every Saturday on Facebook, I have a Share Your Craft Saturday, and I love to see what you guys are working on. I love to see the projects. I get inspired back from you guys. I love to see a lot of times you guys do alternates or even the same thing that you've seen me do on one of my videos. And I love to see what inspires you, and I love to see what you make with it. So please share. Please visit on Facebook. Every Saturday I have a Share Your Crafts, and there's lots of great ideas there, and I really enjoy watching you guys. Okay. Oh, okay. I've got my card base. So this is already pre-cut. So I cut here. Boom. We're good to go. I am going to line up our gumballs first, I think. You know what? Let me just show you the pieces that I've got going on here so you guys kind of get a feel for the assembly of this card. So these are the pieces that I'll be using to assemble. I think I'm gonna line up the magic card first, and then we'll do the top. So first thing I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna attach the window sheet to the back of this. So we've got our little, I don't know if you can see the stamp on that, the Gumball stamp on that. So let me go ahead and aren't those adhesive sheets awesome? They are like, honestly, as far as adhesive goes, when you're working with those small little pieces, the adhesive sheets are the best thing since sliced bread. I used to try to do it with the seal, and then you'd have to, you know, get the extra adhesive off and wipe it off, and it would look messy, and I didn't like, you know, I hate it when it looks messy. You want it to look nice and clean, and so the adhesive sheets rock, and you can get those in my online store. Actually, everything I'm using you can get in my online store. So now that this is ready, we're going to line it up with this, right? And so I'm putting adhesive on the back of this white panel. It's not attached at all to the, see how I can move it around? It's not attached at all to the card. It's upside down. Is it upside down? Yeah, it is. Which one is upside down though? Oh, it's not upside down. I attached it backwards. Let's see if I can fix that. That's a problem with the window sheets, right? They're the same on both sides. All right, hopefully I can fix that without any, oh yeah, we're good. We're good. Let's try that again. Perfect, okay. Yeah. All right, crisis averted, no problems there at all with just readjusting. So I just flipped that over because I had actually put the back side front and then it didn't line up. Okay. Here we go. All right, so there's adhesive on the back of this. I just put adhesive in. Again, it's not attached, although it is a little bit because I just flipped that over. So what I want to do is line it up so that it's perfect with this, and then I'm going to hold this where I'm going to place it on the card when we're ready. And then I'm going to move this. So this is lined up already for us. All right. The next thing I'm gonna do here is use, oh, the punch is called, it's one of our, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on the punch. Labels, the Pick-a-Punch Labels punch. I'm gonna use this one just to add a little, this is gonna be our pull tab, and I want it to look pretty. And I like to use this upside down. I don't know about you guys, but I just find it easier. You can do these in different sizes. Oops. You can use the, you know, do strips in different sizes. This one's 1 inch in width. And I'm just gonna slide that and boom. So we've got just it's a fun decorative edge. I'm gonna do that on both sides, so it'll be front and back when we attach it to the pull tab. Magic cards are super fun, aren't they, Terry? And this is a twist. This is a twist on your traditional magic card. Okay, so I'm just gonna I'm holding this to where I'm gonna fold it, but it's line up, and now I'm just gonna pinch. Bone folder would be good right there. Okay, so we've got our pull tab, and that's gonna be our pull. Let's go ahead and attach these so that this is all decorated when we put the magic pieces on, so we're good to go. So we'll put our top on there. Okay, just so that it's all cute and ready to go. Okay, now I said this was going to be a little bit different than my traditional magic cards. This is just a little twist on the magic. So this is foam strips. Foam adhesives. We got all kinds of adhesive tips going on today. And I am going to use this as a guide. Let me move this out of the way so you can see it. Okay, so this is my pull tab. It's plain white on both sides. And I'm using that as a guide so I know where to put the adhesive. And you're going to want to put it very close to the edge, not totally up against the edge of it, but very close to the edge of it, like right about there. You want it to have a tiny little bit of wiggle room, but not too much. So this will be the stopper down here. Now I do not have a, I don't have a pull tab stopper on this particular magic card. I know some of you get all very upset if there's not a pull tab stopper. I do have videos on how to make a pull tab stopper, and if you would like to make one when you make yours, just, you know, you can do that. You just search magic card on my blog and I'll show you how to do it. On this particular one, I'm not doing that. And it's very easy to pull your tab out. It's easy to put it back in. So it's going to slide. This is, you're not going to see this. This is the back side, right? So this is going to slide. This foam strip right here is going to be the guide. So let's peel the backing off. I did not feel like this particular card needed a stopper. Honestly, I know there's some people that very, very serious about their stoppers, and I make them both ways. This particular one, though, I didn't think needed it. So I'm lining this up at the front. Okay, so when you look at it right now, we've got a window card, it's lined up, and then we're going to take our little tab, slide it in. Boom. There's the magic. See how easy that was? Super easy, right? Super easy, super fun. This is going to go on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And that is how you make this type of magic card. One of the several different styles of magic cards that I've made. And again, you can just type that in the search box of stampwithtami.com if you want to see some other ideas. I'm just going to finish this off. These are metallic, brushed metallic adhesive dots. Super fun, because you know me. I want to have it. I want to have bling in the end. I feel like it's never really fully done until there's bling. And these dots have copper. It looks like I've used most of my copper, so I'm going to open a new pack here. And I'll put one on the top of the pull tab and one in the middle of the spinner, and then maybe one down the bottom here. Okay. There we go. Magic, magic. Woo. Okay, card number 2, magic card. Don't forget instructions, measurements, all of that you will find at stampwithtami.com. And that brings us to the final card in today's video, how-to video. However, I'll be sharing the rest of the series after I share how to make this final card. And also, if you stay tuned to stampwithtami.com, my blog for the rest of the week, I will have written instructions for all the rest of the cards. All the basics on the rest of the cards I'm sharing in today's video, so you'll be able to reference this when you're making the rest of the cards. But they're all, because starting from here on out, they're all outside the box. They're all anything other than gumball machines made with a gumball machine. Right? How cool is this? This is a liquid shaker. Super easy to make. I know it looks like it's going to be complicated, but it really isn't. So with this one, I'm going to start by stamping. And bear with me. So I've got a little tab here, and I'm going to trace this. You could stamp the stamp if you wanted to, but I didn't want the stamp image to show. So I'm using this, and I don't want my pen mark to show either. I'm using this as a guide. So I am taking the pen and actually just tracing the out. I don't need the top, just the sides. The outside outline. It can be a rough, it doesn't have to be exactly. This is just to be used as a guide for where we're stamping our images. In this case, I'm going to be stamping fish. Can you guys see that okay? And the fish are coming from the Seize the Day bundle. So I'm actually using the fish and the seaweed from this bundle to create the fish bowl. So this is like a little fish bowl here, right? Super fun. I'm telling you, I'm addicted to this. I couldn't stop. Like, this is just the beginning. Wait till you see the rest. Okay. So I've got Granny Apple Green and Pumpkin Pie are the two colors I use to stamp with. So I've got the seaweed in Granny Apple Green. I've got the fish in Pumpkin Pie. I'm going to stamp Fishy first. He's going to go right in the middle. He's just swimming. Little Nemo, just keep swimming. And then I'll stamp the Granny Apple Green. And so this is where the guide comes in handy, because I really wanted to know how much space I had on either side of the fish to stamp. And that guide really helps by tracing that. So you kind of know where you want to put that, because we're going to put a dome over it. Right here. Right? And so that's the part of the image that's going to show what's inside that dome. All right. So now we're going to do our die cuts. Where did I just put them? I just put them somewhere. Oh, here we go. I stamped the words with Bermuda Bay, and we've got Bermuda Bay ink, and I use the Special Moment stamp set. Now, for those of you who are jumping on late and you've missed the first two cards, or you missed the prize patrol, this is what I'm giving away. This is a celebration stamp set. All you got to do is drop a comment here on this video, no matter where you're watching it or when, as long as it's before March 4th. And you'll be entered to win. And if you share this video on social media, you will be entered a second time. I used Hey Boo. Right, my little boo, so cute. So there's a lot of fun words on here. I used that, and I cut it with that Stitch So Sweetly dies that I use these a lot. I use these to layer on the front of this card as well. So I've got two panels that I cut there. I'll get to that in a minute. Before I share those, though, I am going to share how I made this big base of the Gumball Machine into a tiny little pedestal. Now, again, kind of like when I shared the label on the last card, cutting it down. If you wanted to, you could just take your scissors or a paper cutter and cut it straight across, and you can do that, and it would still look cool. However, there's a fun little detail on the top of this die that I thought looked really cute and matches up perfectly with the dome. So I wanted it to have this top, but the pedestal bottom. So very similar to how I did that on the last card. I'll share how I did it. So you first cut your base. So I used Bermuda Bay to cut the base. And then we'll go ahead and put that on there. And then from the Gumball Machine dies, taking the same die here, line it up to the height you want it. Took a sticky note. My sticky note's almost the same color as the cardstock, so it's not gonna show. That's actually, no, I don't want to put it there because I want you guys to see why I'm putting the top piece where I am. Okay. Just like when we cut the label down, you're gonna line up this top cutting pad. This is the magic in the top cutting pad here, and it's gonna, you only want it to go over maybe to this right here. So you can see how there's like two metal lines there. You don't want it to go too much further than that, or it will cut into your bottom part of the pedestal. So we don't want that. Okay. Okay, so when we're done, it's going to kind of look like this. It's not going to cut it all the way off because it's not exactly the same width. So then I just paper snips right in. And I did a tiny little bit of an angle rather than a straight, so it kind of looked like it was supposed to be like that. Ta-da! So now we've got a pedestal base. You do still have this little lever here, which you could make into something, but I'm going to cover it with the words, so that part I don't care about because you're not going to see it. The next thing that I did on my original, and I'm just going to show it to you now, is I embossed it. I actually think I used, yeah, okay. I used Stripes and Spiders embossing folder and embossed it on the original. I'll just show it to you so you can see what that looks like. This one I'm just going to leave plain. We'll get right to the fun stuff. I know you guys are dying to see this. This is so much fun. I love it. Okay, so we've got our pieces here. Sorry, my hey boo is sticking. We've got our pieces ready to go. I have, this is the largest, second largest Stitch So Sweetly dies. And I cut out the dome from the middle. If you're tuning in late, I shared how to cut the dome out in the first card, so you can rewind and watch that after this video. So now we've got our pieces. Now comes the magic part of this card. All right, so we've got a dome. I've got a window sheet. Let me just move this back. There we go. All right. Couple of things. I personally want to, I remove the backing before I start because I want to work fast. You can put the water in and then remove the back if you want to. That's totally up to you, but I don't know. There's too much motion in it for me, so I prefer to remove that first. So just be mindful that when we're working with this, that's sticky and we don't want it to not be sticky. All right, so now I've got a little bit of water. You can put as little or as much water in here as you like. I almost filled it. There's a tiny little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can't move it too much further up. But when I put this in, you're going to be able to see it pretty good. I should have removed the cap of the refill before I did this. This is Pool Party Refill. I am not going to put too many drops in. In fact, I think I'm just going to do one. Totally up to you, but the more drops you put in, the darker the liquid, the harder it is to see the fish. So one little drop. Boom. So this is just a refill that I used to re-ink my pad. And then I've got, this is a scrap of window sheet, the acetate that we use. This is available in my online store, and I'm just going to stick it right around there, and voila. There's our little aquarium. That's it. It's all you need to make the liquid in the card. Right? Told you it was wicked easy. Okay, so then that is going to go over our fish like this, and we're just going to use a regular seal adhesive to attach that. So I'll go ahead and put it right on here to attach that little dome, our liquid shaker dome. What do you guys think, huh? So fun. Okay. So we'll put that right, line it up to, where we stamped our image and our guide that we have on there, because I don't want to see the pen mark through. And you may need to trim off some of this. Depending, yeah, so there's a tiny little bit of the edging there that I'm going to trim off before attaching it to the card. All right, the rest of this is it's basic assembly. So I'm just going to take and remove the backing of the dome here. So on the top, that's how it's going to stick to our card base. Nope, water's not coming out. As long as you don't stick anything on, you know, like she's asking if the window sheet is strong, if the adhesive is strong enough for to hold the water in. Yes, as long as you don't make it unsticky. Like if you get something in that adhesive after you remove the backing, but before you put the window sheet on, then you might get leakage. So make sure that you keep that completely clean after you remove the backing. So yeah, boom, right? Yeah, we got no leakage there. Shake, shake, shake. And my original has been here for a couple of weeks. I made this. Yeah, so fun, right? Super fun, super easy. That's just plain water and an ink refill for your aquarium. And then we are just going to do some assembly, and go ahead and put this on flat. You could put this pedestal flat, or you can put it on with a dimensional. Put the top of our aquarium on. Hey Boo, I'm going to put on with a dimensional so it pops up. And that's going to cover our little trap door there, so you won't see that at all. And then, boom, then it's just sticking it on. So I've got a card base here. I've got that already. I've got the Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper. I told you I use that on a lot of the cards, right? Okay, do you love it? Is that super fun? All right, so I am going to share a ton more ideas with you guys. So this is card 3 in an 8-part series. I started out with card 1 and card 2, which were actual gumball machines. The rest of the cards, the other 6 cards in this series, are everything but a gumball machine. Made with a gumball machine. I know, crazy, right? So we'll go ahead and put that on our card. And then for the rhinestones, you can either use the iridescent rhinestones that I started out with, or I use, now these are coming out, these are part of the Ocean Wave collection that's coming out next month. I use these because they had Bermuda Bay. Quick question I've got on there. Where do you get the dome? They're available in my online store, stampwithtami.com. If you click on the link in this video's, in the video's description, there's a direct link right to them. In my resource page there, I've got a thumbnail. You can just boop, right? It's also on the instruction sheet. Everything I'm using is available at stampwithtami.com in my online store. So I'm going to use these brand new. These are rhinestone waves. So I'm going to put a couple of those at the pedestal of our aquarium, and so fun. Okay, again, all of the instruction sheets, stampwithtami.com. Click the link in this video's description. It will bring you right to these instructions. It will bring you right to this video's page. You can see the replay of this video there. So when you're making your projects, you can go back and rewatch this. Some of the other cards will use similar techniques. So I'll have the instructions. They'll be releasing one a day over the next week. So be looking for them. Are you ready? Are you ready to see the rest? Okay, for those of you who jumped in late, these are the 3 cards that I made on today's video. We've got card 1, which is a shaker. We've got card 2, which is a magic card. And then I've got card 3, which is our liquid shaker aquarium card. And along these 2 lines, when I was designing these cards, this was my prototype, and I used the what's the sports? It's in the mini catalog. It's the sports paper. Anyways, this was my prototype of the magic card here. And then my prototype to my aquarium card, just so you can see a couple other, I did a full pedestal holding that up. It almost looks like a Poland Spring bottle there, holding the aquarium up on that one. So I do have my alternates on there as well. So my alternates are not included in my 8 cards of the series. Okay, rest of the series. And these will start, the instructions for these will start posting on my blog tomorrow with this card. How fun is this? This one uses the Rainbow of Happiness. It's actually using the die set, Brilliant Rainbows, to create the rainbow here. The pot of gold is the dome. I made it out of the dome here, just cut that out of some black. And the gold coins were cut from these. The gumballs, or coins, whatever you want to call them. I cut them out of brushed metallic. We've got some, I'm going to hold this up so you can see At least I don't know if the camera will pick it up. It's mother of pearl on the background. It's like a hologram. It's so cool. And then I used the clouds were in the rainbow dies. So that is the first one. The words from this came from, I don't think I have it with me, A Wish for Everything. But I do have that listed. So tomorrow when the instructions post for this one, I do have that listed on there. A Wish for Everything. Great for St. Patrick's Day, right? But it can be fun for other things too. It doesn't have to be St. Patrick's Day. And I did two different versions of that card. So little pot of gold. Okay. So a dome could also be a witch's cauldron. It could also be an 8-ball, right? I was thinking magic 8-ball with this card. You know, the one that you shake and you ask a question and, you know, it gives you your answer. Maybe tomorrow, you know, I don't think so. Anyways, but it also makes a great, you know, pool table, pool game, 8-ball there too. And the stamp, I used the stamp, the words, and the hearts from the set. And then I combined it with rain boots and made a vase out of it. So we've got the dome here as a vase. Super fun. That one I used some Wink of Stella on to make it shiny. Okay, right? Crystal ball. Got some subtle shimmery paper on here too. And then one more idea here. This is a traditional shaker card with some more shakers in there. We've got our Christmas snowman. I cut the pedestal down on this, so it's a snow globe. Got a little snow globe going on there. Okay, so directions for the rest of these will be posting on my blog over the next week. Stay tuned for those, the rest in the series. I hope you have absolutely loved these cards because I had a lot of fun making them. I appreciate you guys joining me on this Friday afternoon and having some crafting fun. Be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. And don't forget to drop comments so you will be entered to win my drawing, which is for the Special Moment stamp set. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Thanks for joining me today.